So if you know anything about me, you know that I used to live in Florida. I invest in Florida. I travel to Florida. And recently, talking to a great attorney, Samantha Fitzgerald, mentioned to me that she had a superstar real estate agent that she used for probate real estate in South Florida. And so I had a chance to reach out with her and chat with a little bit. I'm going to share with you guys Ellen Mitchell with Remax All Stars down in South Florida. Ellen, how you doing?
Very good. Thank you, Bill. Really nice connecting.
And remind me, what part of South Florida are you in?
So I work Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. So Southeast Florida.
Very nice. And I used to live in Boca Raton, and I was just a month ago in Surfside with my family. So I know Dade County pretty well, and I know Palm Beach, and you drive through Broward on the way in between. So I know all those pretty well. So how long have you lived in Florida?
I moved here from Chicago in 1990.
Oh, wow. I lived in Florida in 84 and 85, and I was married there in 86, a little before you. So, and how long have you been in real estate?
I started administratively in real estate in 1994, and I got my real estate license in 1998. And I've worked full-time in real estate since that time.
So you were 10 years old when you got your license.
Very kind.
And how long you've been involved or focused in? I don't know that it's exclusive for you, but how long have you been focused, or has probate real estate been a big part of your business?
I would say the last 4 to 5 years, I've made a very intentional decision to focus on probate. So I do general real estate as well, but I really focus on probate, guardianship, and senior relocation.
And so what kinds of things did you do to help you build that particular niche in your business?
Well, first of all, I got myself very educated in that niche. I got my certified designation. I met my certified probate real estate designation. And I sat down and had really in-depth conversations with probate attorneys in my area so that I understood the creditor period, homestead versus non-homestead when it came to probate, and really educated myself, and then grew a team, including like 501c3 to remove personal property, a locksmith to rekey the doors, handyman to make small repairs. And I really created this small team that I'm able to work with and provide a lot of value to both the attorneys and their clients.
So let's break that down, because the most common question I get from realtors is, how do I build my probate business? The first step you said was you got certified. Do you remember which program you started with?
I do. It's called CPRES, Certified Probate Real Estate Specialist. At the time, I took the in-person designation when they were down in Miami, but I believe that you can also get certified online. So it was good. I mean, because it's a national certification, it wasn't specific to Florida, but it was a good general understanding. And then meeting with my local probate attorney really educated me further regarding the state laws. So
the CPRES designation is through Mike Torres, I think, MTI.
It is.
Yeah, they've been a long time, and I've taken it a long time ago, and does a really good job. I feel like at the end of that, you had the designation, but maybe the education process is very preliminary. So your next step was to meet with attorneys. So how did you come to find attorneys to meet with that would be willing to talk to you and educate you or share with you what you need to learn?
That's a great question. I went to the real estate attorneys that I do work with, and I asked them if they had probate attorneys that they could introduce me to, like realtors know realtors, attorneys know attorneys.
Right.
And I got some wonderful introductions that way. And then I would just schedule to meet them for lunch or coffee and really have in-depth conversations and how I could be of service to them, learning more about the probate process. And I always ask them then, and I ask them now, what is their biggest pain point? And what could I do to alleviate that pain point?
When you were introduced to the probate attorneys, did you go to lunch with them, coffee, just talk on the phone? How did you start your relationship process?
So it was pre-Zoom. So it was, yes, lunch, coffee. Some of them I met with them at their offices. Whatever, I always prefer to be face-to-face in person.
Yeah.
But whatever was most convenient for them, that's what I did.
And I think you really hit a point, again, that I say to agents all the time as they try to start building their business. And you're the classic example. You're already a realtor, you're making money. You want to add this area or grow this niche, and they act like it's some sort of secret cavern you have to break into. But the reality is, most of us have contacts in our center of influence. It's just the next person. In your case, you had what you call real estate attorneys in Florida. We would call escrow officers here in California, the people who handle the closings for us. And they often work with the probate attorneys, either referring the probate attorney business, or the probate attorney is clearing the conditions on their escrow. And so they've developed some relationships. And so if you have relationships with an escrow officer or a real estate attorney, then you want to leverage those to meet the probate attorneys you want to talk to, not to ask them for referrals, but to educate yourself to be more valuable. And then quite naturally, they're going to, in some cases, refer you business. So let me ask you another question. Did you ever have the experience as you were building this business that somebody kind of came to you in your personal sphere of influence because you were doing this work, almost like by coincidence, like how they know I'm doing probate, or they just stumbled across the right time? Did that ever happen to you as you're building your business?
Absolutely. And I had done several probate sales where I live in South Florida, we're the #1 probate state in the country. So where I live in my time in business, I had already done some probate business organically. And then the more I did it and would talk about it, then it just seemed to attract more and more.
It's as simple as that. And I always tell people, just learn something that you find interesting, post that in your social media, and you're gonna have a friend who's gonna call you and say, hey, my aunt passed away and my cousin's kind of lost, they have some questions, can you help them? Because they saw you talk about a probate property you sold or listed, or some class you took, or an attorney you talked to. So, and that's why I do this content, is to make sure my clients are aware of the different options and opportunities and such. So now today, you have a real estate practice that's focused, or say emphasizes to a large degree probate. You have some great contacts. Are there particular business development activities you continue to do, or is it mostly just referral business that keeps your business going?
Both. I am a member of BNI, the largest business networking group in the world. And so when I meet with other BNI professionals, I always ask them, who can I introduce you to that will be good for your business? And I'm able to make those introductions. And conversely, they'll ask me, who can I introduce you to? And so for me, it's always probate, guardianship, estate planning, and elder law attorneys. So when I say that, then typically I wind up getting introductions, and then I follow up on those introductions.
So I'm going to ask you a question. This requires a little self-reflection, but I'm just curious. So would you say necessarily that BNI is the best tool for real estate agents to use to build probate business, or BNI worked for you because the format kind of fits your style and personality, and you're using that tool in a way that works for you?
Probably the latter. I think anything, it's like when people ask me, what's the best CRM? It's the one that you use.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm very relational. Majority of my business is repeat and referral business. So BNI just kind of lends itself to that. And I love meeting with people. I'm very curious. And so asking for those introductions and having those continual introductions and meetings is terrific. And one step further with BNI, I can look, for example, for a BNI probate attorney in New York. And New York is a natural referral source. They may own property in New York and have a second home in Florida. So because I'm part of the network, it's an easier reaching out because I have immediate familiarity and credibility with them because they're in BNI and I'm in BNI.
For people who don't know, South Florida is the 6th borough of New York City. So when you live in Florida, like half the year you would swear you're in New York. It is the most, half the year it's southern, it's beautiful, it's the weather, everything is like, I really enjoy living. I live in Boca and I love when I visit there. But when you go during the season, it's like you're in New York City. It's just a little nicer surroundings. So that's a common connection for Florida real estate agents, is that New York City to Florida. I think also Canada and maybe Michigan. There's other states that have a similar kind of pipeline of snowbirds that relate to you.
And New Jersey as well.
In New Jersey, well, New Jersey is New York, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So
True.
you must get approached by newer real estate agents or real estate agents looking to build their business and probate real estate regularly. What do you recommend for them as far as trying to build a business? What steps would you recommend them to take?
Well, specifically in probate,
Mhm.
I would tell them the most important thing first is to educate themselves. The worst thing that you could do, I think, is to reach out and offer a service because it sounds good, but you're not prepared to be able to deliver on what you say you can deliver. So for me, it would be, I think getting a designation is a good first step, but then getting that local knowledge, sitting, talking with different probate guardianship and real estate attorneys, watching things on YouTube from other attorneys, giving real life examples and talking. But I think I believe that getting educated is the first and most important step before you would step into any new venture or pillar of business.
You know, I think it's so true that when I was married in Florida 37 years ago, the rabbi said something that I don't know that I follow it, but I try to follow. I know it's the right thing to do, which is he said, the key to relationship is not finding the right person, is being the right person. And I think in real estate, we often look for the person who's our first business too much and don't spend enough time being the right person that attorney or that family would want to refer their business to. And so I think you hit that in the head between the certification and education as your primary first steps. I think that hits right on the head. So, Ellen, obviously, enjoy chatting with you. And I know you're in South Florida. If a real estate agent had a probate, had a client moving to South Florida or had a probate case involved in a state with property in South Florida, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
My cell phone is 954-292-6412. Text works very well. If they prefer email, it's my name, Ellen Mitchel with 1 L, realtor@gmail.com. So pick up the phone, send a text message, email me, carrier pigeon, whatever works. I'm very responsive.
And if you want to find out more about her, the website is miami-probate.com. Really impressed with the domain name and has a picture of her and all the details and stuff. And then she also has a YouTube channel, Ellen Knows Probate, and has some good video content there. Actually, that's how I kind of vetted her out before I called her, and actually the attorney that introduced us, they did an interview together and did a really nice job. So I was confident when I called her that she knew what she was doing. So Ellen, thanks again so much for your time today. I really appreciate it and look forward to talking again soon.
Thank you, Bill. Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.